Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Ji ayanu, pakhair ragale, ni hao, chuneshume, washmale, Ohio Gonzaimas, Guten Morgen, Ola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifa hal, Hale Shoma Chotore, Ahlan Wasalan, Marhaba, and a very amazing Khush Amadi to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and watching World this morning alongside Shazad Khan. I hope that everybody is perfect, they're doing fine, and they feel great because it's time to rise and shine, wake and bake, get up, and be more focused about whatever you want to do in life. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't a very good morning for me because I ended up having an accident while I was on my way to work. And so I thought that I should actually say it out loud. And the only reason why I'm saying it out loud is that, many times I've seen that, people can be in a hurry. And me, myself, I might have experienced that myself that, I'm getting late for work and I really need to step up on the gas as well. But I think we shouldn't be in a hurry at the cost of somebody else's damage. So please make sure that, if you're about to leave your place, if you're about to leave for work, if you're about to, go and drop your kids to school, just be very careful about, about the speed you maintain because, for example, all of those people whom you leave behind at home are actually waiting for you, though those eyes waits for you because of the fact that, you are their loved one. So, and now, today what I witnessed early in the morning was something very different. Okay, so, somebody came and actually hit my car, fine. Whether I was at mistake or not, or whether somebody else was, this is a different dialogue. But as a matter of fact, what I could see was that these bureaucrats who actually sit at the back of the car and their drivers drive, they just don't even bother to get out and ask whether you're fine or not. And for all those people wearing ties, for all those people who think that they're officers or they actually hold a designation or probably a position at a certain important office, what you need to do is you need to have a little bit of courtesy, get down, ask the other person whether you're all right or not. Because cars, they are going to come next. Because I think and I believe that, things are made for people, people are not made for things. So this is one small thing with which I wanted to get started with my show. And yes, I want everybody to feel fine and perfect. So let's go ahead and take a look at the top stories. Good morning. This is how you should feel. It's all right. North Korea's Kim Jong-un has made his first ever foreign trip as leader, met China's president, vowing he is committed to denuclearization and willing to hold summits with South and United States. Moving on, where the Pakistan Culture Day was co-hosted by the Embassy of Pakistan and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization at the SEO Secretariat in Beijing. The event was titled as 9 Magical Notes. Wow, what a title. Grand Gothic arc of a cemetery in Brooklyn is the unlikely home to one of New York's most colorful residents, bright green monk parakeets that are usually found in the subtropical habitat of Argentina. Beautiful birds they are. I have a few at my home too as well, but not really. Last but not the least, as spring is approaching, flowers are in full blossom across China, creating picturesque scenes and attracting many visitors and photographers. A total of about 10,000 hectares of rapeseed flowers dotted with plum blossom and crab apples turned the land into a sea of yellow flowers. Oh, we can see red. It's all right. But yeah, we do have yellow too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, these were the top stories. And, while I was looking at this visual, which was full of flowers, and you could really see that, it is a sea of flowers, it looks like such a romantic scenery that I just felt like going there. But it's perfectly all right. And once we talk about, going to other countries, I think this is what we're going to talk about today as well. Because particularly I've seen while I was growing up that quite a lot of my class fellows, quite a lot of people who've actually graduated, quite a lot of people who are doctors, quite a lot of people who actually had quite a lot of amount of money and wanted to go abroad and invest it somewhere else, but they didn't actually knew the way or the process that, okay, this is how I'm going to apply or whether this is how I'm going to apply. We certainly have touched upon brain drain, but this is not what we're talking about, because to gather or to grasp or to capture the essence of the entire globe, what you need to do is that you need to travel. And to travel, you need to get a visa. So today we are going to talk about the visa issues people face over here in Pakistan. And for example, we are definitely going to talk about students, we are going to talk about doctors, we are going to talk about engineers, we are going to talk about businessmen as well. So these are a few things which we will be discussing. And for all those people who are actually out there, I think what we need to do is that we need to share a few other days which actually took place today as well, which is 28th of March. But before we do that, I think what we need to do is that we need to introduce our guest, who's actually with us. He has actually served the Pakistan Army. I'm sorry that I'm telling that as well. But he's none other than Major Retired Imran Hanif Saab, and he's the Managing Director, Visa to Land. Hello, Assalamu Alaikum, how are you?
Wa alaikum assalam.
Thank you very much for joining us, first of all.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
So, you know, while I was going through your profile, I could actually understand that you specialize in Australian visas. But this is not what we're going to do. We are going to talk about, you know, students who want to go to UK, Canada, or Australia, or any other country, or within Europe too as well. So first of all, why did you actually, you know, landed into such a business which is very tricky?
I had a very unique and different experiences in life. Okay. Initially, I was very young, 18. I joined military academy, and I graduated from the military academy. I served Pakistan Armed Forces for about 18 years. Yeah. Then I thought that my learning process has finished here, and because 18 years quite a long time to learn and to understand things. Then I wanted to move on and get higher education.
Okay.
So I got at my own request from the army, and I moved to UK.
Okay. And you lived there for 10 years?
Yeah, I lived there for 10 years. I did my 2 postgraduate degrees. I did my master's in business. Right. I did my master's in strategic management and leadership. Then I happened to write a book, and my book has been published, and it's available on Amazon Books.
Very nice.
And that was a very unique experience, because I'm not a writer, and it took me almost 4 years to write that book.
All right.
And then I became instructor. I started teaching. I used to teach security and health and safety, and by the grace of God, I have taught almost 30 different nations.
Alhamdulillah.
And during this time, 10 years, I used to do my own visas. Right. And I interacted with a lot of Pakistanis abroad, a lot of people facing
And you
problems.
thought that this is the area where I need to work?
The people, as Pakistan is not a 100% literate country, so people are struggling to get information. Yes. So a lot of people used to come to me while I was in UK for help. I used to do them just as a charity and help my brothers and sisters. So that's how my interest was created there. And then I met my partner, and she's an immigration lawyer.
Wow.
And yeah.
So he met his partner while he was in England.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes.
And look at the smile he's given me. Wow. Okay. Why are you shy about that?
No, nothing to shy about. But she's the one.
Did you guys get married? Sorry?
Yes. She's my wife, and she's the one who brought me here into this new world. And then I took Pakistan, and we have got office in Melbourne, and she sits and controls the office of Melbourne.
And your office is actually approved by MARA, which is actually the migration authority over there.
Yeah, it's Australia. A migration agent registration authority. It's a government body. We are licensed by that body.
And now you've opened up in Islamabad as well, because we do have 3, I think, consultants in Lahore.
Yeah,
we're actually being approved by MARA as well.
Yeah, we have all together in Pakistan 10 consultants, which
this is the first one in Islamabad.
Yes.
Now let's get the conversation started. So first of all, for all those students who want to go abroad, first of all, you need to tell me which country do you think is the best, and then we need to ask about whether do you think that we need to go for post-graduation or graduation or before that.
Basically, a lot of people come in contact with me on a daily basis, and they're struggling to find what they should study and where to go and all that.
Yeah.
So I basically deals in 4 countries. They're all 4 English-speaking countries, which includes Canada, United States, England, and Australia.
Yeah.
But primarily, I'm an Australian agent and government-approved agent, so I look after all the visas for the Australia.
Right.
So what I have seen over the period of last about 1 year here in Islamabad, the students, they are not aware of the process of admission.
All right.
And so I wanted to make this very simple. So what I've done is that I've provided a lot of information on my website, and I encourage them to read before they should come and talk to me.
Okay.
And so that they should know what is the process of
But this is
admission.
what we are doing today. So we are going to share information so that everybody feels comfortable at home and they know what to do and what not to do. So first of all, which countries to go to, whether for post graduation or graduation or even for A levels?
Initially, America and the UK was the prime destinations.
Exactly.
But after the recession, things have gone bad, and there are a lot of joblessness, and there are not options after the graduation or your master's degree or postgraduate degree. So at the moment, Australia and Canada, they are the most top-rated countries, because people want to go there, study, and after that they want to get work visas and they want to settle down over there towards the permanent residence side.
All right. Do you think that this might be the reason that the authorities actually do not issue you a visa, because they could actually sense it that once you're done studying over there, you just do not feel like coming back? And I think that it is a sad omen too as well.
I think very interesting question, but the problem people need to understand is that all these countries, English-speaking countries, they have got set rules and regulations.
Okay.
If you follow the rules and regulations, they won't say no to your visa.
Exactly.
But the problem is that we try to do hanky-panky, we try to make fake documents and forge them and lie, and that's where they don't want to encourage those kind of people. But if you are applying legally, if you are following the proper procedure, if you are fulfilling the prerequisite, they won't say no.
Exactly, because they follow the rule. But other than that, let's talk about Australia and Canada then. What are the benefits of education in Australia?
Australian institutes are top-rated universities. They are recognized, their degrees are recognized world over.
Yeah.
And students, they get 20 hours a week work permit as well. They can work side by side when they are studying. So the poor students, especially when they can't afford, it is very good for them. And then after that degree, bachelor's or postgraduate degrees, they give you the work visa. Okay. And so you can actually use that education into your work, into your experience.
Exactly.
And eventually then if you work there in Australia, especially if you work in the regional areas, the government wants educated people. And in Australia, almost about 30% of the population is migrant. Okay. So it's quite a big number, and it's a thriving country. And the same way, UK was a very top destination, but after 2012, there are a lot of bogus colleges which came into limelight, and after that, they have closed almost about 1,500 colleges. Right. And these colleges were issuing, fake letters, and the people were sneaking in, not for study, for other purposes.
Exactly.
So they have gone a little bit strict on that, but eventually now they are again opening up the door. So I think the primary concern of the students are, when you complete the education, you can earn that money which you have spent on your education. Right. And then you can earn some experience. Exactly. So these are the benefits, and then the Australia is a tourist destination, and plenty of job opportunities.
And you get the permanent residence too as well. I
yes,
think if
yes.
you're studying over there, you get certain points, and then you can actually apply for the permanent residence. But other than that, now what I've experienced in my life is that since I've done my master's too as well, and from a local university, what I've witnessed and what I felt was that for all those people who, when I got free from college and when I was doing my graduation, when I was doing my BBA, that I could sense that for all those people who have actually gone abroad, they've studied abroad, and you study abroad because you want to have a good career, you want to earn good money, and you want to support your family. But fortunately or unfortunately, I haven't seen all of those people land somewhere good in their life. What's the reason behind that? Because we go to a university other than Pakistan because we think that that the standard over there within that university is going to be such a benchmark in your life that you're going to make a career out of it. But unfortunately, all of those people who've done that, not all of them, a few of them might have actually landed into good careers, but majority of them have actually not even got a job.
I agree with you. I have seen this thing while I was in UK. Yeah. The problem is that there is no proper guidance and mentoring available. Okay. And once you are not properly guided and mentored, so definitely you end up wrong. I have seen people that they have done HR degree from here in bachelor's in HR, yeah, or IT, and then once they move in there, their aim was to just get into that country. Exactly. So they have got admission in marketing. So altogether, bachelor's and master's, the both two contrasts.
Yeah.
So definitely, when you are looking for a job, you can't get a job because people are confused that you have done a bachelor's in a different field and then you have done a master's in a different field.
Exactly.
So it is difficult, to excel in that field because you have specialized, you have done a research work in a degree where you don't have previous experience.
Exactly.
So these kind of problems.
Okay, so now let's take it step by step. First of all, did you recommend that we should actually go for our A levels to study abroad, or we should go for our graduation or post graduation?
I think A level is quite young age.
Okay.
And I don't recommend, but at that age,
You might sway away within their culture.
Yeah, it's a free world, and there is no check and balances, and the kids go, right and left.
Yeah.
And they're not focused on to their education.
Yeah.
So I would recommend after 18th minimum 18 year of age, FSc or FA, and after that they should go for a bachelor's or postgraduate degrees.
Okay.
And if they have done a bachelor's here, they are quite mature, and then they should get a proper guidance, and they should do the master's in the same field, so that they get benefited at the end of that.
Thank you very much for saying that, because my, ladies and gentlemen, specialty or the specialization was marketing, even in BB and even in MBA. But Elon Musk very recently said that MBA is one of those degrees which nobody requires these days as well. So Elon Musk, you might be right, but it works for us. But other than that, now, for example, when we apply over here within Pakistan, within a university, they have certain requirements. For example, that you should actually have 50% score in FSU or 60% score, or then there's this comparison in between, because you convert your grades from A levels to FSU or whatsoever. What are the requirements of admissions in Australia and in Canada and in UK and USA?
The first and foremost requirement is, if you have done a bachelor's and you're looking for a master's, is the English language test.
Okay.
And people don't prepare well.
Is it IELTS or TOEFL?
IELTS or TOEFL, okay, whatever. But most of these countries, IELTS is more widely accepted here in Pakistan. But if you have a low score, you won't be getting admission in a top-rated university. Because the top-rated universities, those who maintain their standard, they won't give you with a low score of English. Because if you can't speak English, how are you going to study?
Exactly.
So first of all, the first step towards this is that prepare well for about 6 to 8 weeks, get proper coaching, and try to get a maximum score in your English language test. So once you have that, then you select the university, and they give you a confirmation of enrollment, and then you deposit your fee, and ultimately they confirm your admission, and accordingly then you can apply. And second thing, which the problem which students are facing here, because this is a third world country, Pakistan, let's be very frank, everybody is not rich, and 70% population is poor, or 60%, and they can't afford, but they have a dream, they want to go there. So it's a piece of word of advice for those people that, it's not mandatory that your parents are rich. If your first blood relatives, they are well, or they are abroad, you can get a affidavit or monetary support from them also. On the basis of their financial information, the visas can be granted.
But who do you think trusts anybody these days as well? May it be your khala, puppo, or whosoever. Nobody trusts you with money, right?
Trust is important. If there is no trust, definitely you won't be going to.
It is indeed, and we'll definitely move on further with the conversation too, ladies and gentlemen, because we'll definitely ask him whether, what are the procedures for doctors, for people who've actually done MBBS, what are the procedures for businessmen. But at this time, we are actually observing the Manatee Day as well, because sea cows are very rare, and we want to celebrate them as well. So go ahead, we have a small video to share. This is sea cows coming your way, and we call them manatee.
Happy Manatee Appreciation Day. Here are 5 fun facts about these adorable sea cows. Manatees love to feast, eating up to 100 to 150 pounds of vegetation every day. That's 10 to 15% of their body weight. Sounds like my kind of diet plan. They obviously have the cutest noses ever. Manatees only breathe through their nostrils, and they use their whiskers around their snout as an easy sensory tool to help navigate around their environment. Since manatees are very slow-moving animals that love to hang out in shallow waters, their backs and tails become an ideal breeding ground for algae and barnacles. Talk about accessorizing. They may be slow swimmers, but they sure are aquatic acrobats. Manatees can swim vertically and upside down. They can even do barrel rolls and somersaults under the water. I score that a perfect 10. Did you know that back in the day, Christopher Columbus and sailors exploring the New World often mistook manatees for mermaids? So today, and every day, embrace your humanity and show your appreciation for these modern-day mermaids.
Ensure your humanity, ladies and gentlemen. And this was a cute video which I wanted to share with all those people out there. And I think that, you know, this video will certainly make your day as well. And we even have another day which is very special one, because when I was growing up, I think that this and the other was the only flavor which you could ask for in cake. So I'll tell you guys, you know, hold on to that. But now let me come back to Mr. Imran as well, where we were talking about the prerequisites of the admission into any university abroad. So you said, first of all, International English Language Testing System, which is IELTS, okay. TOEFL, you need to pass them, and then that. Other than that?
Statement of purpose.
Okay.
And this is a statement which explains your ambition and what exactly you have done, why you are choosing this course.
Yeah.
And most of the students, they are not very good at writing this statement of purpose. So I try to give them counseling and guidance, and I try to.
Did you write it yourself as well?
Yes,
for other people?
sometime I do write it for them, because but I have to discuss with them first, because I'm writing on their behalf. And there is no harm in that, because this is one thing I've learned while in UK. My professor told me that, you know, always whenever you write something, get it proofread.
Yeah.
And proofreading is very important. We are shy that, you know, if somebody is going to make a judgment on us, you know, we should be taking that thing, because that is the way to improvement.
So why do you think people take these examinations, SAT and, you know, all of these other examinations which are out there as well? Are they for different countries, or are they for different universities?
Mostly in the States, some universities, they require a high score in the SAT.
Okay.
But they are only for the few universities. Generally, you know, many universities accept this IELTS result.
Yeah.
This is a kind of a worldwide kind of a thing, TOEFL and IELTS.
Okay, so for example, in between the year, which months are we looking forward to when we actually need to apply for our admissions?
Basically, let's take UK. UK have got 2 sessions. One is in January start, and one is in September start.
Yeah.
So if you are looking for a September start, definitely 4 to 5 months before you should start preparing. You should apply for the admission, because then after the admission you deposit your tuition fee, and then ultimately you have to apply for the visa, and the visa takes about 2 to 3 months sometime.
For UK?
More than that, yeah.
I don't think so that for UK it takes so much time.
Yes.
I mean, for visit visa, I think it only takes 15 to 20 days.
No, visit visa is different, but you are moving there for 2 years or 3 years. They have to have a security checks and you know, medical test.
Yeah.
Because let's take Australia, because for any visa, English is mandatory, and then security check and health.
Okay.
If you are health-wise clear, because you have to go to the designated hospitals of that embassy in the respective country, you have to go there and get the admission from there also.
And what are the 10 best courses we could actually opt for, which are actually going to lead to permanent residency?
I'm talking about Australia.
Yeah.
So engineers are the top list rated. Then ICT, computer people.
Yeah.
Then we have got hospitality management, because it's a tourist place and there is a lot of hotels, and you know, that industry is thriving. And then we have got accountants. Accountants have got higher standards, because every year Australia, you know, in the occupation list, they come up with the accountants, and accountants are coming from all over the world. So Pakistani accountants, they have to compete with the other accountants in the world. So if the threshold for point system is 60,
Yeah.
for accountant it is more than 70 or 75 marks. So accountants they are very well paid. Then doctors, medicine, education, that field is very good. Then trades, and most of the people are not aware of that. Carpenters, electricians, masons, chefs, these are the people, they can also move to abroad. But the problem here is that, you know, if you are a good chef, you have learned into a mama chacha kind of a place, and you don't have a proper recognized
Degree.
education or you know, certificate. So if you have a proper certificate, if you can pass the English, so there are a lot of opportunity for these people as well.
Very nice. So do we have opportunities for media personnel over there? You, Mr. Producer?
Definitely, definitely. You know, media is one thing which is in demand all over the world, but you have to be very good. If you are good in your field, definitely there is a lot of scope.
Well, okay, I think the situation is getting very dicey, but at this point of time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to share a trailer from the film The Immigrant. Go ahead, take a look at this trailer, and if you like it, go ahead, watch the film too as well. The Immigrant, coming your way.
She's my sister. Is something wrong?
She has to be deported.
No, we never go back.
You speak English?
Yes. Can you help me? Please.
You're a very lucky lady. Do you have a place to stay?
Do you know somewhere?
Yeah, I know a place. I can get her off the island, whether she's cured or not. I know people. It'll be difficult and costly, but it can be done.
I need to work.
Or I can take you to my place of business. God, you're beautiful.
Don't give up faith. Don't give up the hope. The American dream is waiting for you.
It does not matter what you do. You got a right to be happy, Ava.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the trailer from the film The Immigrant, and if you liked it, go ahead, watch it, and if you've already watched it, watch it again. It's perfectly all right, you know, keep yourself entertained. And since we are in conversation with Mr. Imran Hanif, who is the Managing Director of Visa to Land, and earlier we were talking about issues which students face, or probably which countries to apply for and what the procedures are. So I think the foremost important thing is that you need to speak English to go to any of these countries. For example, United Kingdom, for example, United States, Canada, or Australia. So, and other than that, then, you know, he actually gave us a list of courses which we can opt for, which are going to lead to permanent residence in Australia too as well. But why do you even want to leave your country? But other than that, this is for your information soulfully. And now let's move on to people who have got a lot of money, who have and who want to invest into other countries, and what business visas, what kind of skilled visas, or is business visa or skilled visa the same visa?
No, no, no. Business is altogether different. Business is targeting only primarily for the business people, and it is not essential. This is a very new thing, the good news for the business people here in Pakistan. You don't have to have initial investment to get this visa, because there are 4 or 5 different types of business visas, and I will explain one by one. The first one is called subclass 188 alpha. This is the visa for which you don't require any initial investment, but you have to have certain requirements.
Subclass 188 alpha.
Alpha. Wow. And that subclass.
Never knew visas are titled like these.
Yeah, there are subclasses. Australian government has given separately, so that, you know, there's conditions for every visa. For 88 alpha, you have to have a 3 to 4 years business history.
And we're talking about Australia right now.
Yeah. You have to have a business history for 3 to 4 years minimum. You're running your own business in Pakistan, and you think you have got a proper registered business with the Security and Exchange Commission. You have got tax documents, you have got bank statements. You can show that you are actually running this business. And then your turnover is not profit, turnover is in approximately 4 to 5 crores. So
in a year's time or in a month's time?
In 2 years.
Or in 2 years.
2 years time. And there are many businesses in Pakistan, turnover. I'm not talking about profit, turnover. And if you have that, the Australian government wants to encourage these people to come to Australia and do business and contribute towards the economy. So they have even exempted the English requirement. If you can't speak English, you can pay $9,000 and you can waive off this English requirement. because they know government is very intelligent. They know that these people, they are business people and they have got a history and they have got a funds. Once they will come here, they will do some kind of business, because this visa is only for the business. This visa is initially
No,
granted.
but this is very unfair. I mean, for students who actually want to go and learn over there, obviously, this is a fine requirement or a fair requirement that, okay, if you want to go abroad, if you want to study, you need to know the language. But how are you going to operate the businesses if you do not know the language? You can waive it off by spending $9,000.
No, you can employ people. If you are a businessman, you don't have a money problem. So if you don't have a money problem, you can hire people and they can work for you. So they're making it easy, but you need to show that you are a genuine businessman. You are running a business for last 4 or 5 years.
Very nice.
You've got a turnover. You are paying the tax to the Pakistani government.
Yeah.
So then you are eligible. Once you go there, it's a 4-year visa, and once you go there, then you have to fulfill certain requirements. For this visa, you have to employ 2 Australians over there, and then you have to have a 300,000 plus investment made.
And is it necessary that we actually have to employ 2 Australians?
Yes. 2 Australians means any 2 individuals or citizens of Australia, those who are legally residing in Australia. So in this way, government is helping, this businessman will help 2 people to get the job. So he is contributing something towards the society.
Exactly.
So this is the visa where you don't need any initial investment. Then it comes the 188 Bravo. And this is the top rated visa nowadays, because this is for the rich people, those who have got money. The minimum requirement is 1.5 million Australian dollars, which is almost about
1.5 million Australian dollars.
That's about
not even much.
11-12 crore rupees.
Yeah.
If you have that, you invest this money in the government bonds with the Australian government for 4 years, and instead there is an option available that you can apply for 1 million loan. You keep your money. They will give you a handsome amount of interest or profit on your money, and your money is safe with the Australian government, because the government is the guarantor. And then you can get a 1 million loan, and you can do whatever business
And
you want.
how long does it take to get the visa? I mean, this Alpha or the Bravo?
5 to 6 months.
5 to 6 months.
6 months. But in some cases, we have handled a visa of a Pakistani guy who lives in Dubai, and he was quite rich, and he 5 million category. So it comes within 3 months also. But if you have got more money, the government sees that he's got plenty of money, and you can prove that evidence that you do have a legal money. But definitely this money has to be white.
Yeah.
Because you
This
can't.
needs to be legal money.
You have to transfer this money from your country legally through the banks.
But there will be so many tax deductions, and so we are on national television, so do not tell us the way out. Okay.
No, there is no way out, because it has to be legal white money.
Thank you very
because it's not like people use other illegal means, hundi or other stuff. It's not possible, because you are depositing the money with the Australian government, and Australian government doesn't want that this money comes from a black fund or black money kind of thing. So this is very good visa. This is also for 4 years, 188 Bravo, 1.5 million safe, 1 million loan, and after 4 years you and your family gets permanent residence.
Very nice.
And then we have got 188 Charlie C, and this is for 5 million plus Australian dollars. And then we have got a significant investor visa, which is 15 million. But that is quite rare.
15 million Australian dollars.
Australian dollars. That's quite a big money, Not everybody's a piece of cake. So these are the different. But then they have introduced an entrepreneur visa.
Okay.
This is for those people, those who have got some innovative idea, and those who want to make that idea work into a practical commercialization. So they have to have a $200,000 funding arrangement in place. There are venture capitalist firms in Australia or other countries.
Or incubation centers.
Yeah, you contact them, you give them your idea, you share with them, and if they accept your idea, they will give you a letter that, okay, we will fund this project. On the basis of that guarantee, you are given, that visa, entrepreneur visa.
Right.
They want to bring the best people from all over the world.
So now this is business visa. Now let's move on to skilled visa.
Yeah.
What's
skilled visa is for the people, those who are educated, and there is a lot of shortage of skilled people in Australia.
Yeah.
Let me give you a little bit about Australia. It's the 6th largest country in the world, and it's
a very minimum population.
Yeah, its area is more than 29 lakh square miles, and its capital is Canberra, and the 2 largest cities are Sydney and Melbourne. And
And quite a lot of times people even confuse the capital with Sydney too as well.
I will just give you one example that the population of the whole country, which is almost 5 to 6 times bigger than Pakistan, is less than 2.5 crore.
That's
So
it.
it's only 25 million.
I think our Karachi actually exceeds this population.
Yeah, it's nearly Karachi or
But
little
this is
bit.
why they need people.
They need a lot of people, they need good people, and skilled visas are mainly 3 different visas. They are also have got subclasses name. There is one called 189, and which is a federal visa. Every year the Australian federal government, they give a occupation list, they publish that these are the occupations in demand. So what we do is that we target those people, those who are in demand. Like for example, an engineer, a civil engineer, he wants to move on to Australia. So what we do is that he has to has a English language pass. Number 2, he has to has a skill assessment done from the skill assessment bodies. There are about more than 30 different skill assessment bodies.
Within Australia, or do you have to do
within
it from whichever country you're applying for?
You are applying from here. The Engineer Australia is the body which is going to do the skill assessment. You're going to prove them with a portfolio, you're going to prove them with your degree, and you're going to give them your experience letters. On the basis of that, they're going to judge, okay, that this guy is a proper engineer, he has got skills and experience.
Whether somebody's lying or not.
Yeah, but you have to get it approved. Once Engineer Australia approves that, then you apply for the state nomination. There are 7 states in Australia. So if, for example, in one state, in New South Wales, like where the Sydney is that, if that state requires engineer, civil engineer, so we apply, give an application to that state, and that state invite you that we need this person, his skill assessment is positive, so state is going to nominate them. Once your skill assessment is done, once your state nomination is done, so then you're done is medical. If you're medically fit, then your security check, you get a security clearance, and ultimately you apply for the visa.
Very nice. So this is what we call
this is 189 one visa. This is a federal level visa.
And now what about doctors? Because quite a lot of students, who actually do their MBBS over here within Pakistan want to move abroad as well.
Doctors are a very, very specialized field.
Sorry.
And the MBBS, those who are doing it from Pakistan, they are not very well taken into other countries, because the standard of medicine and the level is totally different. Work ethics are totally different. So they have given a proper procedure for that.
Yeah.
So doctors, my company, Visa to Land, has got an exclusive contract with one of the largest companies of New Zealand and Australia, Med Recruitment. And they recruit doctors from all over the world.
I hope it's not like Ashes series as well, because it's New Zealand and Australia. You're operating in both the countries, okay, fine.
So doctors, they get in touch with us. We make a proper report on them, and in the report we guide them and we tell them how we're going to do it. Okay. First of all, the primary requirement is English. They have to have a 7 in each band. All the 4 tests which IELTS you have to undergo. Then you have to pass a MCQ, multiple choice question test. Australian Medical Council arranges this test, and we do the primary verification, and then we book these doctors for this MCQ test, and it's 150 multiple choice questions. Out of that, you have to pass 120 minimum.
Wow.
So once you pass that, then your portfolio is sent, and then we arrange a 12 months paid training for you. And once you go there, you are under supervision, and at the end of this 12 months, you have to undergo a clinical test, a practical test. Once you pass that, then you apply to the Australian Medical Council for the license.
Amazing.
So once you get that license, then you are good to go.
And very quickly before we wrap it up, that is towards the end, because ladies and gentlemen, we go out in 60 different countries. So anybody out there, what about all of those people who might have migrated illegally? Do you think that they have a future in Australia or elsewhere?
Not in Australia, because they are very strict on illegal migration, and they don't encourage at all, especially Australia. They try to stop them even getting into the mainland. So many of them immigrants, those who have moved there illegally, they have been on boats or different ways, because it's an island. You have to go through a boat mostly, because if you go through the airline, they put a jurmana on that airline, and they send you back also.
Wow.
So it's a responsibility of that airline. Why did you bring this illegal person?
Please don't do that, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you very much.
I don't recommend these kind of things.
Thank you very much, Imran Sahib, for being with us. And you know, it
Welcome.
was a very informative conversation. And
Thank you very much.
I just never noticed that, you know, the time just flew by. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, there are 2 important days, and I don't know whether to wish her or not, but yeah, she's done a great deal. You know, she's a great singer. She was born in 1986, and today, ladies and gentlemen, Lady Gaga was actually born, so we wish her a very happy birthday. But other than that, it is Black Forest Cake Day too as well. Do we have a visual for that? Are we playing a video? Let me just ask my producer over here. So, ladies and gentlemen, since the time when I was growing up, there were only 2 flavors of cakes which I knew, and it was pineapple or black forest. And every time we wanted a black forest cake, so we have a small video. Go ahead, take a look at this video, and then when you guys are going to come back, you'll actually feel like eating one as well. Black Forest Day today. Okay, so for all those people who feel like having a cake, go ahead, you know, just go to your nearest bakery and you can have one. But, you know, I think at this point of time, I'm going to wrap it up and we're going to head out with a song by Lady Gaga. The name of the song is Perfect Illusion. But before we do that, please write to us on our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of World This Morning. On Twitter, it's World This Morning without a G. On Dailymotion YouTube, it's World This Morning. The Fabulous repeat is going to be at 11 p.m. And if you have any information or if you want any information about the visas or visa to land, you know, this organization, just write to us. This is Perfect Illusion coming your way. Lady Gaga, happy birthday. Good morning.